We're expanding more and more west on this channel by the day. Today we are way out here in Wildrye, Texas, because a client family of mine had me out here a couple days ago, and I rode by this sign and I said, what in the hell is Wildrye? And that is where we are today in Wildrye, Texas. So today we're going to be checking out a few of you guys' favorite builders. This is Chesmar. I'll tell you a little bit about who's here. Chesmar, Drees, DRB, Highland Homes, on one of the most affordable 50-foot plans I have ever seen in all of Houston. And y'all know, those of y'all that have been here a while, y'all know how I rep about Meridiana being the cheapest 50-foot Highland home plans. They got some over here in the 300,000s, okay? So wait until we get there. However, we're gonna check out some of these beautiful builders. We're gonna talk about some of the amenities, schools, tax rates, all the things that y'all care about. If that sounds good, stay tuned. And up first, we have Chesmar, my sleeper builder of the last couple years. And they are on a 60-foot plan. And if I think this is what I think it is gonna be my most remotely sold home, meaning my clients have bought this off of a video from me or just looking at pictures online the most, and it is a Sweetwater. Shout out to Ruby for allowing me to showcase her model. I really appreciate it. And so if you come out here solo, before you get into talking numbers with Ruby, say, hey, Aaron sent me. Let's get him on the line if I don't come out here with you. This is my #1 sold Chesmar home on the 60 and 65-foot plan sites whenever they offer them. Some of the cost savings that you get here is because you pick all of your designs in-house. And so you would already have your plan, you would already have your brick, you would already have your tiles, flooring, all that stuff. You do that here. And so you save on that markup that you would get from going to a design center. The trim is movie magic, locations and size and finishes, standard finishes outside of all the trim. Don't be fooled and catfished by this extra trim in here. But for those of y'all that ain't new, y'all know I got a Julio. For those of y'all that are brand new and you need somebody to do it, I got a Julio. Disclaimer, don't come for me. The guy's name is actually Julio. Don't make it weird. It's you being weird, not me. I promise you. His name is really Julio. But what you feel once you come into a 60-foot wide is, this is the sweet spot for a lot of my people that are moving. They typically don't like to go smaller than 50 foot because this feels really narrow once you typically go smaller than 50. And so on the 60, you really feel that you have room for some really nice decor and some really nice pieces off of your foyer. And then you come into beautiful, thoughtfully designed, open concept. Really, really nice. Really, really beautiful. This one just shows really well. Gives you 4 beds, office, and a flex. Does it one of the best, in my opinion. Looks like they did the pocket office upgrade on this one. And so normally this would be like mudroom area kind of here. Everything would kind of shift over and be a little bit smaller over here. But when you do this, it moves your garage door to here as shown and shifts your pantry a little bit to make room for this door. And then it carves out this little space for you. Nice. Really, really nice. Formal, informal dining over there. I love how that frames up. And again, Chesmar, they've been my sleeper builder for the last 2 or 3 years just because they do the things, man. They give you the cabinets to the top. They give you the puck lighting. They give you the really tall ceilings. They give you the oversized picture windows. They do all the stuff at such an affordable price. Then you have this flex space with a little bit of storage over here. I've had clients build this out and almost treat this like a studio apartment. So they would make this into the normal closet. And then they would actually have this kind of closed off and treat that like a little casita. So I've had people say, hey, we're gonna have an older parent that moves in here that, you know, wants some kind of autonomy, but we want to be able to keep an eye on them. And they treat this like their little studio apartment. I've also had people that were a little bit more budget conscious that had an interest in the big Highland home like 224 or 222 plan, where if you're familiar with those plans, they have the super oversized like teen room where it has like a sitting area and a really nice sized bedroom and an ensuite. And so I've had people say, hey, we love that concept, but we don't necessarily have the budget to do that. So we'll make this our little teen room. And so they have their little sitting area, their little, again, little studio apartment kind of vibe, right? So great functionality on this plan. Another thing that's often movie magic is getting a slider on this. I would say of all the ones that I've sold, I've probably had 25% of them will have the slider on the back. Of course, if you build it, the slider is going to be not too crazy, but I think their price for their slider is somewhere between 10 and 12K. So not crazy, but is that worth it to you? Only you can answer that question. I was looking at one for the first time yesterday. I saw one that didn't have a fireplace. That's the first one I had ever seen in inventory that didn't have a fireplace. You don't really need it here in Texas often, maybe 10 days, but these barely put off any heat. Anyway, this is more for the aesthetics, more for the vibes, right? Yeah, so that glass is cold. So more for the vibes anyway, but I was shocked that I didn't see that one in another neighborhood not too far from here. I believe we were looking at Atwater. And so that one kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I was like, you usually get a little fireplace in it. All right, then you come over here, you got a full bath at Jack and Jill's. You come over here and then you have a nice sized bedroom. Again, the thing that you notice, 8-foot doors, good trim, great ceiling height, just makes the room and space feel much bigger than it is. Here's your other secondary bedroom in Texas fashion. Like, pink one, ballerina, that one's for girls. This one's for your boy. He likes robots and hunting. Classic Texas decor. He's a boy. But again, tall ceilings, so if you wanted to put a little system in there to give you a little bit more storage and stuff, you could. This was the other side of the Jack and Jill that I didn't show you, just so you can see it. Another thing that's pretty standard for them, tiles to the top in their bathrooms. You're usually going to have in inventory, you're going to have a nice quartz or a nice little marble-ish look countertop, it's usually pretty nice. And it's just a good view. Oh, Sweetwater. Take it outside just so you can get a scale of the garage. Not garage, geez, back patio. It's a pretty good size. I'm not seeing a gas spigot out here, so if you were building it, you could definitely add it. I'm not sure if this is gonna be a neighborhood that garners that being a standard out here, just with the competition. But I would imagine that it would, because you got, again, other builders out here like Highland and Drees. And so I would imagine that you would, but if you know you're gonna be out here grilling a lot, that might be something that you ask and pay attention to when you're looking at the inventory. Movie magic on the design up there, but the ceiling detail, coffer ceiling, room size. So tons of room for a little couch, seating area, little mirror area over there. Tons of room in here. Split vanity design. So you got one vanity over here, other one with a little make ready station over there. I've never seen them make this one lower, so it's gonna look like this. Every time I have at least seen it in inventory, that's what it looks like. Citywide, they have done an upgrade for their standalone tubs on these models. So if you see one that's wrapped in the tile, that's because they probably started that build before they made the design changes. But everyone that I've seen so far, since they've made the new plan updates to go a little bit more modern, they have that kind of a tub in it. Got a little storage. And this is a really nice size shower with a bench that is standard. Again, tile going all the way on up to the ceiling. That's where you handle your business. And this is your nice size closet with some thoughtful built-ins and some windows up top so things just feel lighter and brighter throughout. Few different stations where you can hang dresses and suits and things like that. It's really, really well done. Really, really well done. So I am a super fan of Chesmar. Oh my goodness, I'm a super fan. Let me do a vibe check on snacks, because in Meridiana, they got the best snacks. Let me see if they're vibing out over here. They just opened up. Oh, okay, we got water. Okay, drinks are getting there. Yeah, Meridiana, don't tell my wife, but sometimes when I'm down bad and I just want a snack, I'll go over to Chesmar and be like, hey, let me get these gummy bears out here real quick. Don't tell my wife I told you that though. Okay, so coming in here, really quick, talking base pricing. We have stuff from we have stuff from the 2,500 square feet going on up to about 4,000. So you can get a really big plan over here. And you have pricing going for about, and this is actually the rebrand Sydney of the Sweetwater. So it's the Sweetwater. So you have pricing, if you're looking online, just keep that in mind. So with the rebrand, they changed some names and tinkered some things a little bit, but this is the Sweetwater, okay? So you have the Sicily at 2,582 square feet, starting at 450 for a 60-foot product. You have something like this starting at actually 485 base before you make changes. On a 60-foot product, 3,000 square feet. And then on the biggest one, 540 for 4,000 square feet. Okay, so just keeping that in mind. And I'm looking at stuff in their inventory, and I'm not seeing anything that is above that 540. Not seeing it, right? All these have price drops. I see stuff in mid fours, low fives, mid fours. Great deals, right? And so looking at this for reference, I think that this is the only one that that probably rivals the pricing of being this good for a 60 foot. And this is just me in my memory bag right now, is Brookwater and Rosenberg. Brookwater and Rosenberg has some crazy prices for their 60s also, with my girl Lacey over there. But if you're looking more northwest versus southwest, these would be the two that you would be comparing the most to get the most bang for your buck west of Houston, okay? So if you're looking south, I would say give Brookwater a shot for Chesmar for sure. If you're looking north, you're gonna be between here and Atwater. I think you'll pay a little bit more here at Wildrye, but you're gonna have the builder quality of the people that are here versus what's at Atwater, the amenities and things that are supposed to be coming here. You'll see where you're saving the money, and we can have a deeper conversation about that. But kind of like I tell you for some of the other community videos where you have like a satellite community that's a little bit more small, a little bit more entry level versus something like this where you got high-end builders that are coming in to a neighborhood like this. This one would kind of stunt the values of like an Atwater, in my opinion, because this one has a more high-end focus when you bring in people like a nicer, bigger Chesmar, a Drees, a Highland, some of those other builders, right? So yeah, keep that in mind. That's gonna be some of the best pricing that I have seen for a home that is this size for Chesmar. Looks like this. The finishes are gonna be damn near identical minus the trim stuff. You're not gonna really get that. This whole stone wall, they just do that to show you what you could do. Do that afterwards if that's something that you're interested in, but the actual finishes, sliders, fireplace, all of that stuff is in play when you're getting an inventory with them, because they do a really good job of kind of upgrading their inventory a pretty nice amount. Great start. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Hold on. Up next, we got Drees Custom Homes. Been on a little bit of a push with them lately. They've been doing really well with my clients. So we are here to show you what they got. Good deal. All right, so this would normally be your garage. As you can see, a little mud area coming off of the garage with a little coat closet. Guest suite off the front door. Trim is movie magic. Room size is real. Full bath, which is good. And then you have a really good size closet in here. It's good. I'm loving that. Hold on. Ooh. So this reminds me of, there's a Pulte plan, I believe it's called the Amherst, that had their table set up like this, but because this is a wide enough home, it's not just free floating in the middle. You got some stuff that's framing it up that way, separating it from the family room and the kitchen, but having it close enough to where you're just not out of the mix. I love how that is located. That's beautiful. Coming to this beautiful kitchen. Again, they're a custom builder, so you can do pretty much whatever you're willing to pay for. If you want to redesign some stuff, draw some stuff a little bit differently, as long as your developer will allow you to do it, they can pretty much get it done with Drees, man. Yeah, super nice. Built-in appliances over here. Really, really nice. Really great size pantry. Now, one thing I'll say, pantries and laundry rooms are some of the biggest that I've seen with Drees, no matter what their footprint is. They've been consistently some of the biggest for those little extra spaces that you don't really think about until you maybe go into a builder, love the home, and then you see that the pantry looks like a little closet. Not usually with Drees, man. And then, ooh, this is inspired. They're still working on some stuff in here. This is looking very much so like a Newmark. What's that, Maverick plan that does that? Super, oh my goodness. My wife would be doing a church praise dance to that right now if she was with me. Beautiful. So we're gonna get into what's over there. What is over here? Looks like we have a half bath, so people out here entertaining, maybe off the back patio or in the family room right here. Office in the back, that is different. That's very Highland-like. So I'm seeing in this home so far, I have seen some of my favorite features from like 6 different builders, and I think that kind of showcases that they're a custom builder, right? So it's not just like cookie cutter, boxy, everything's the same location in the same way. They have some inspiration that I see very easily from a Newmark. The 2-story looks like back patio. I've seen that in Weston and Tolles and some of these other builders as well. The office in the back, that's been a almost exclusively kind of Highland thing for the last 3 to 5 years that I've seen in the metro. Everybody else usually does it like off of that front space to the left or to the right of the entry, and this one's tucked off in the back. So I like a lot of things that they have done. That little kitchen set off area is very Amherst-like, from Pulte's more elegant series. I think I'm seeing some things that I'm really loving, and I think it's a really good example of what sets them apart and kind of makes them different in the space. Although they are a production builder, they take on more of a stance of doing more volume than, let's say, like a Frederick Harris or somebody like that, but they can go fully customizable to the limits of what you can do in the neighborhood, okay? And before we go and check out what I'm assuming is the primary over there, let's go and check out this back patio. All in square footage on this one is like 3,800 with how they have it souped up. Outdoor kitchen, gas and plumbing on this one. And they just look at, I mean, they're doing the stuff. I'm not gonna be able to tell my wife what this base price is. I'm not gonna be able to tell her that. I'm gonna tell y'all, but I'm not gonna tell her what this is. This is the Tegan plan. Shout out to my little niece Tegan. Tegan plan. They have this one's fitted out as a 5-bedroom office and a movie. So they have squeezed every inch of this house that they probably are allowed to do at this footprint. Most times when you're in a neighborhood and you have the product line width also kind of dictates the square footage that can go in there, right? So even though there are some plans that they could probably fit square footage wise in this space as a 2-story, the developer says very, very straightforward way of the restrictions of what you can do. And so this plan, although it's a 60-footer and could fit maybe in Grange on their oversized 50, they would have square footage rules that says you can only build up to, in a 55-foot section, up to 3,500 square feet, right? So there's certain things that you wouldn't be able to do. You maybe wouldn't be able to add the movie room. You maybe wouldn't be able to add the 5th bedroom. And that happens in a lot of neighborhoods. So I know you may be having that question as to why can you do some modifications in some neighborhoods and you can't do it in others. That's because the builder tries to set it up, or the developer tries to set it up in a way that there's not a lot of overlap, and people that are getting a 40-footer, you don't want them cheating the system and undercutting the 50-footers. People that are able to afford the 50-footers, you don't want them to be able to undercut and cheat the people that are paying for 60-footers. So there's usually a square footage stop to where you don't have so much overlap in between the product lines. I hope that makes sense, okay? But over here, this one's up to 3,800 with what they've done. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. Let's go and check out this primary. That's a good size. King bed, full-size furniture, enough room for a couch. Enough room for anything you need, whatever you're willing to pay for. Peekaboo shower. You looking at them, they looking at you. Everybody's all right. Split vanity. I'm shocked to see that they don't have a make-ready station in this one. I would imagine that if you asked for it, they could probably carve one out in one of these, but you'd be giving up a drawer. It looks like we got split closets. Yep, so that's a very, very Perry thing. This house seems to be a mix-up, a mix-up of Highland, Perry, Newmark, Pulte. Doing a lot of things well, man. Let me see. I think I skipped the laundry. Didn't really give that much love to this. Yeah, this is really pretty. So I'm sure if you wanted to do a slider off of here and you're willing to pay for that, you could do it. But I actually like what this does better than the slider, in my opinion. But yeah, really good size. Enough for a little folding station over here, or this sink. Cabinetry in here as well, man. Hey, Jeff got him one over here. I think Jeff's gonna see me out here a while once this one publishes, man. This looks real good. Really, really good. So for the Peekaboo crew, you got your little caddy corner. Really good size room. Really, really good size. And about what I would expect for closets. No Jack and Jill, so this is favorite kid. They got their own bathroom. Pan into the game room. Really nice. connecting on over to the movie room. Now I know some people hate the windows of it all, but that might be one of those things that's a developer restriction, right? So it's like, in order to let that slide, they may be required on certain elevations to have windows in it. That kind of comes with the game. So you need some blackouts. Need some blackouts, need the tenant, do whatever you gotta do. But this is a really good size. Really, really good. A nice size too. Man, I'll tell you what. I'm doing some things on this one. I'm gonna skip this bathroom. This one's looking more shared. I don't know if I see a space where they could carve out another half bath just for this little space up here. So these people in the back, they kind of sharing. That's why I was saying that first room, that's your favorite kid. Good deal, man. So yeah, I am 5 bed. Yeah, did I count that right? 1, 2, 3. Movie room, office downstairs. You have the bedroom off the front and the primary in the back. Little semi-formal dining nook over here. Man, that's hard to beat. With a base of, I think you said 540 was base on this one before you go crazy. Now, if I had to guess, I would imagine that the base is 4 bed. So you added a bed, that's usually about 20. You added a media. So you probably are all in on this one, probably like 650 if I had to like just ballpark it. And to get something like this for 650, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's gonna rival some pricing from like Weston, who is kind of like known for this style of home on a 60-foot inventory where you have no say. Something like this is gonna jump in that trap and you would have customization. Hold on, but let me grab a couple more of the stats just to kind of let you know what plans they have over here, size ranges, prices, all that stuff, and we'll be right back. All right. Just talked to my guy, Jeff. Shout out to him. He's out here every day except for Tuesdays or for Thursdays and Fridays. So if you want to stop by, tell Jeff that I said, what's up? And we'll take good care of you. I actually met him out in Grange. So like I tell y'all, every video is one of those things where the relationships kind of transfer. People move around, but the relationship and the vibe, that transfers with me, as long as you're rocking with your boy, right? Okay, so in terms of offerings over here, we have 2,400 square feet, starting at $465 as a base. And you can customize that to do some things on that to make that a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. What we were just in was the Tegan plan, and that one as fitted out there's one in inventory that's almost identical to that just like I was telling you about 650. They had that one listed in inventory at 635. It's almost like I've done this before, okay? So if you were building that and you wanted to go kind of all out, you would probably be in that 650-ish range, but you're literally getting everything that you would want. I'm talking brick colors, we're talking black trims, we're talking sliders, we're doing all the whole nine, and you're gonna probably be somewhere around 650. He said that one in inventory, spec'd out the same as this one, was 635, but it didn't have the finishes that some of the spaces in here had, okay? All right, it's like I've done this before, okay? So There's a couple other plans that y'all have seen on this channel. I think I've showcased the Brindley a few times on this channel because that was one that they had in Meridiana's 60-foot section or 65-foot section. And I believe I've shown you guys the Wagner plan as well. But the biggest one here, base is 3,800 square feet, and it goes up to 590 as a base, okay? And that's on a 60-foot custom home builder, okay? So again, I think that the pricing that you're seeing out here in the Waller area is they are doing this thing where Waller ISD is starting to get a lot of money out here. There's a lot of builders that have crossed over, including Bridgeland West. And so there's a push to really make Waller special. And as you drive out here, somebody's been touring out in that like Hockley little overflow, just kind of riding around to see what is out here. There's a lot of land still out here. So I'm imagining that this off of 290 corridor is gonna, in 10 years from now, you're not even gonna recognize what this little corridor looks like, and now is the time to get in for some of the cheapest pricing, okay? So definitely keep that in mind, that this is gonna be the cheapest that it will ever be, is right now. And you can get a customized home like that in the mid to low sixes. That's kind of crazy. All right, while I am yapping and kind of walking to the next set of houses, I think we're gonna hop in and check out this Kingston plan, and then we're gonna look at some of the pricing. Like I said, these are some of the lowest 50-foot Highland home prices I have seen for sure in the whole metro. So we'll talk about all of the bases and things on those. But man, while we're yapping, just want to talk about what is coming here. So lakes and walking trails, that's kind of a standard. That's a little bit of a given in a new construction neighborhood, mainly because this thing, outside of being used for catch and release fishing and just general beautification of green spaces, is your flood mitigation, right? And so that's another one of the things that comes with buying newer, is that you'll see, I'm trying to see if I can get it for you, where you'll see that the street is much lower than where your house is. And as a result of that, how this thing works, you'll see these little drains kind of along these streets. Water rains on your property, goes into the street, goes into these drains, and ends up in one of the designated flood mitigation places throughout the neighborhood. So it just within a spinning distance of me, it looks like I can see 3 lakes right now. Here's one, here's a second one, and it looks like the peekaboo of a third one right here just surrounding me, okay? So that comes with going into a new construction community. Taxes currently right now are 3.29, so a little bit on the higher end. But again, you're coming out here to the country. What was out here before was just open land, cattle pastures, nothing, right? And so that is the new construction tax. The mud tax that you're gonna pay is for your drainage, for your fiber internet, for your gas, for all the things that you didn't have because this was just cows pooping out here 10 years ago. You're paying for that now as a means of a tax, in addition to the schools. So between Waller ISD taxing you and the Mud District taxing you, you're gonna pay somewhere between 2 and 2.5% just for those two. That's where your homestead exemption and other exemptions that may work for you are specifically applicable to you. We have some age restricted exemptions here. We have some veteran restricted exemptions here, some other disabilities as well. So I can't really speak to your specific needs without talking to you. But yeah, that's where we are right now. Elementary school is going to be on site. So for young families that are going to plan to be and grow with this community for the first few years, you're going to be able to send your kid to a school. They weren't able to point out where it's going to be. I think it's actually going to be behind me on the other side of that lake, where you kind of see that little clear area over there. I think that's actually where the school is going to be. So basically walking distance of Model Home Row. But yeah, 3.29 tax, school on site, mud districts, they high. There's no real, there's a rhyme or reason, but there's no way around it. If you're not 100% disabled, you're gonna pay some of the highest taxes in the Texas area for sure. And that's just as a result of what this land used to be and having no infrastructure before. And as a result of Harvey, right? You want that drainage. You want that gas, y'all want that high-speed internet. It is what it is, okay? But now let's hop into the rest of these beautiful homes. Let me know what y'all think. Really quick, I wanted to say thank you for checking out the video for today. I hope that you are enjoying everything that you're seeing. And also, I want to take a quick second and show you how to use my brand new website. I did recently make the move over to the Vibe brokerage, and one of the things that came with that was a super responsive website that has some really great features. So all you'd have to do is hop on over to my website at aaronlathan.the-vb.com. And using today's video for an example, we would type in Wildrye in the search bar. And just like that, you would get all of the available listings for the neighborhood right now. But the most important thing is the features that we have here. So you can come over here to for sale, and then you can say, hey, I only want to see 4 bedrooms. I only want to see active stuff because I ain't really trying to look at stuff that is pending that I ain't really gonna buy. Single family homes, you can put it for square footage, you can have it for water views, you can map this thing out as detailed as you want it to be. But the most important thing is that we have a feature now specifically for builders. So if you said that, hey, of the builders that I saw today, I only want to see Highland Homes going forward, you could click on Highland Homes and the available listings for them in the neighborhood will pop up. Let's say that is the builder of your choice for the day. You would click on this heart, and that would show on my side. First off, it's going to ask you for some information, but secondly, on my side, that will start to build a profile for you so that I know that that's the kind of home that you love. And also on the back end, once we get other listings in the neighborhood or in surrounding areas by that builder of the similar size, you're going to be one of the first people to know about those homes. So super responsive. It's been a really great help to my people that are hopping in and really building out their profiles and really giving good information and really liking homes. It's been building out a list that is tailored to them specifically and their needs, and it's been really helpful in the process. So I hope that you log in, enjoy it, use it. I'm sure you've already seen a QR code or a number flashed on the screen. I'm here to be a resource to you, but without further ado, let's hop back in and check out the rest of these beautiful homes. All right, up next is a Highland Homes car carrying holding member, specifically of the 50 foots. I gotta represent whenever I see them in the neighborhood. And I saw that they were here, and that is typically an indication to me that I probably need to know something about the neighborhood, okay? So this is where your garage would be. They have it kind of staged as offices right now. So when you come out and you tour, please don't fall in love with how this looks having all of the glass up there, because that is gonna be a garage, okay? But yeah, this is giving that Kingston, right? So this was my most sold 50-foot plan. And I have a couple that I've recently sold in Ellison in the 55-foot section where this room can be super oversized. I have had a couple of those as of late. When you can do the 5-foot bump out and make this room really big. That one's a really nice version of it. But yeah, it's doing the Highland thing, man. Doing the thing that Highland does well, just little elegant touches, little thoughtfulness, good storage. Give me a movie room. This is my #1 sold 50-footer because I often have to be the bad guy on a 50-footer and tell people what they can't get. And oftentimes on a 50-footer, you can't get 4 bedrooms, an office, and a media room without building it. Most builders just don't do it. They know that the cost is going to be high to make those extra spaces, and they know that in an inventory they're going to have to bring the price down to offset that of the money that they put into it up front. And oftentimes most of those builders will say, hey, we're not doing a special room, we're not doing a bonus room, we're not doing an extra office, we're not going to do it because the data shows that we're going to take a loss on that, and we would just rather sell the house without it. Okay. Highland, and this plan specifically, was one of the first where consistently, if somebody was like, Aaron, I need 4 beds, an office, and a media, where I was like, I don't have to think about it. If your budget is at a certain number, I'm saying Kingston almost immediately. Or I'm saying Oxford almost immediately. Highland Homes in that 50-foot became my sweet spot builder for people that wanted the spaces, but could kind of deal with the house being a little bit more narrow. So this isn't somebody's forever home. Usually it is a elevated move up home from something that you already had. So if you're coming from like a KB, Lennar, DR, like a lot of people's first home is in the Houston Metro, stepping up to that 50-foot Highland where you can start getting 8-foot doors and the curved archways and the spaces, you'll start getting the elegant touches of a luxury builder in the 50, and this one gives you all the spaces that most people need to move from that first starter house, right? Most people are moving from that starter house, they done got some more kids on them. They need a couple more bedrooms. They need a little place for a little play area. Somebody wants a man cave. Somebody needs an office. That is what this house does better than most on a 50-foot plan. Okay. Then you get the really big windows. Oftentimes they'll have sliders on these in inventory. You'll have range hoods and things where other people are going to give you microwaves. You'll have built-in appliances where other people are going to have, you know, just kind of, again, microwave over the stove, and they're just kind of cutting corners. This 50-foot Highland has always been like that nice step up for my second time buyer. And it's always been a great downsizer for my family that are empty nesters, because you still get the elegant touches, but on a smaller, more manageable footprint. And so over the last 3 years, I've probably sold 20 of these in the last 3 years. So I am a huge fan. For those of y'all who've been following us long enough, you know, me and the wife also have a Highland home, 50-foot, and we have these same conversations. So I'm not telling you something that I'm just making up, right? Do we see ourselves being in that home forever? We will probably outgrow it at some point, right? We'll probably want a little bit of space, but for the time being, I know what it feels like to come home to that home and feel like I've accomplished some great things to be able to get that home for my family. So I know the vibes. It is a definite step up house from what we had before. And so this is real feedback from somebody that's doing the things that I'm telling you right now, okay? But yeah, good size. But again, the things that you notice: 8-foot doors, good baseboards. If you're building it, you can customize. I've had some clients build some of the most beautiful Kingston plans. Absolutely stunning. The plans that I've had some clients just build over the last few years with this thing. And I've had some of the most amazing deals in inventory where clients have gotten the sliders, they've gotten the extended patios like this, they've gotten some of these for a steal, because more times than not, the people at Highland know what's going to sell, and they're putting really nice stuff into it. So if you just so happen to catch it on inventory and get you a steal, you got lucky and you got you a steal. But yeah, oversized back patio. This is about what I would expect for a backyard with a big 50-foot one-story on it. I'm sure just like every neighborhood, you're gonna have some sections where you can get bigger. There will be some lots that are smaller than that, but that's about what I would expect. And then kind of like I mentioned just now in the Drees, got that office in the back, which has been, like I said, like a more Highland staple for the last couple years. On their 50s and higher. We'll slide on into the primary. I think the bump out is a must. No matter what plan, I think you got to do the bump out. It just adds this extra little bit of space, man, to put furniture and to just really make the room pop. I think it's a must. Come in here, and you got the elegant finishes. Tile to the top, standalone tub, make ready station, split vanities, good size shower. That's where you handle your business. And this is your closet. Now, I want to go to the board, and I want to confirm that what I saw online wasn't a fluke. I'm about to go and look at their pricing live right now because I saw something on the inventory sheet that I grabbed when I ran into the host that was in the threes. So I want to confirm right now what I'm seeing. So we got home plans. This is the Kingston. I don't know if you can see this. $397 base. Comparing that to my neighborhood of Meridiana, which was once the reigning king of being the most affordable Kingstons in all of Houston. You couldn't find a cheaper 50-foot plan than Meridiana. That one is nearly 70,000 cheaper than my neighborhood, okay? My base right now for a Kingston is like $470 in my neighborhood, right? That's a huge difference. So for my people that may be downsizing, don't necessarily care about the area, not necessarily wanting to or needing to be closer to downtown, this would be my alternative of, hey, you got to come check this out because we got stuff on 50-foot products, $360, $390, $399. The biggest one over here, 3,000 square feet at $425, right? We have some crazy pricing over here right now, okay? But yeah, in terms of the team over here, I have never worked with this team, but I work with Highland. I have the division president's numbers on speed dial. I know these people. And so if we need to work a deal, we need to make something happen, we need to get a little bit of extra design center money, we need to do anything in addition to what they're offering to kind of make it a win, as long as it makes sense within their numbers and their margins, we can make it work. Had a crazy one that we were able to get negotiated. Unfortunately, timeline-wise, didn't end up working out for my client in my neighborhood, but the things that can be done with a good, solid relationship, there's some crazy things that can be done, okay? But yeah, that is Highland Homes. I'm about to stroll down a little bit longer just to see if there's anybody else worth checking out for the video today that maybe y'all haven't seen in a while. And if not, we'll wrap it up. Simple as that. All right, last but not least for the day, we'll come back for the other ones. We have Castlerock. And I sold a few Castlerock in Sunterra, but it's been a while outside of that one. I think it was Miss Lisa was who I was dealing with over there. Pretty. Storage over here. I like how this opens up. This would normally be your garage that you would see. And so you kind of have this separate little dining area that I think is just really cool for what looks to be a 45-foot product. And Castlerock's one of those builders, man, that I think if I saw them more in the big communities, I think they would do well. I don't know why I haven't seen them a ton in the really big communities. I know I saw them in Marvita and they sold out damn near instantly in Marvita. And then in Sunterra, they've always done well over there. And I think they moved over to the new section of Sunterra. But yeah, man, they've always done interesting and unique things. I love how this is angled. That's very modern. Also get the little storage niche over here, somewhere that you can put decor. Really nice. Gives you the 2-story family that a lot of people just know and love when they're looking. Really nice, man. Giving you peekaboos. Got a little half bath. So your guests don't have to go into your area. And this is a really nice sized bedroom. It's huge. This might be one of the biggest bedrooms we've seen today. That's crazy. That's legit crazy. Come here, dual vanity. Separate tub shower. Really good sized closet. Now the sales team wasn't here today. The construction manager was in there. And so I believe their price ranges are like low 3s for the most part on their sections over here. And so super affordable in terms of if you need a little bit more bang for the buck, this is a great place to start. Over here, this is where I'd be taking you if we come over here. Let's go check out the back patio just so we can say we saw that thing. So 2-story on a decent size 45-foot lot. Yeah, pretty good. All right, we'll take it on upstairs. Detailing of the stair. All right, we got Jack and Jill, so it's connecting. Half guest bath, half ensuite. Really nice, man. I'm impressed. Like I said, I like Castlerock, and all the Castlerocks that I've ever sold, my clients have loved their homes. They just tend to do some solo stuff, man. They kind of prefer, it just seems as a model, they prefer to be in the more boutique communities where they're kind of the big dog, because they'll give you some nice stuff. I mean, I'm looking at high baseboards, I'm looking at upgraded carpets, I'm looking at good trim, I'm looking at stuff that is an upgraded builder kind of thing to do. Hey, that's a peekaboo. On a 45 now, that's a peekaboo. Really good size. I'm sure I'll have all the stats on this one at the intro, so go back if you need to rewatch it again. But peekaboo, man, this is a great design. Really good size. Got queen in here. And this is the other side of that Jack and Jill that I didn't show you. So now we'll see everything in it. Hey man, I'm not mad about that one. So yeah, that's Castlerock. I'll go down, grab some more info on pricing and availability over here, and then we'll wrap things up. All right, so they have quite a few plans over here. Like I said, they're going to be ranging, this is a 45-foot lot, they're going to be ranging from like low threes to one of the highest ones that I saw in there. Their biggest plan was going to like 390 was their biggest plan. This is a Seminole plan that we just showed, right around 2,600 square feet, so that's a really big 45-foot wide product line. Yeah, because they got a bump out over here as well, so maybe they are flirting between 45 and 50. Maybe that's just something that they have over here. I'll double check with Richard when he gets back in the office later this week. But yeah, that was a really gorgeous home, man. So we got wide variety of builders. We're in one of the fastest growing parts of Houston, in Wildrye. Brand new schools coming. Got a brand new elementary school coming here. Got the brand new schools tying into all the other communities pushing out this way towards Hockley and the Wildrye area. Right off of 290, there's gonna be so much boom out here, and this is the cheapest that it is ever gonna be to be and live in a neighborhood like this. You got some of the cheapest 50-foot, some of the cheapest 60-foot, some of the cheapest custom home options that you could ever have in the whole Houston Metro. Is that enough to drive on by Jubilee, drive on by Grand Prairie, drive on by Bridgeland West, drive on by Ellison, so many of these other beautiful communities in the northwest pocket of Houston, and call this neighborhood home?